I had a conversation with my dad a few months ago where I told him, I was like, hey, and I've had this conversation with multiple people actually, not just my dad. But I'm like, dude, I'm great at starting strong, but I never finish strong.
Which is, I'm sure is
I
pretty relatable
I can
for people.
I can start and I'm like, oh great, I'm motivated, I have all this passion, and then it wanes very quickly and
Hmm.
it frustrates me. And there were some things in my life that I was working on at the time, and I'm like, Dad, I'm like, you're well read, and I know you read a lot of books. Like, what books would you recommend for me, like in this stage of my life? This is what I'm struggling with.
I like
This is how
that.
I feel.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he's like, you don't need to read a book. He's like, he's like,
I love
he
that.
says,
Ooh.
reading's great. He's like, reading's great for you. Gain the knowledge. He's like,
Yeah.
but what do you need to do at the end of the book? Take action.
I love that.
He's like, what are you not doing right now?
Smart man.
He's like, you're not taking. He's like, you got to start taking steps forward. He's like, you're not taking any action before you even read a book. Go do something. Take action. Hit the gym. Do whatever. Like do whatever you need
Love
to do
it.
to get rolling,
It's true.
and then add a book or add whatever you need to do there. And I was like, well, you're
Well, yeah. So
yeah,
if your goal is to get to the sunrise, first you need to get up and just get moving,
yes,
and then you orient yourself and you go, oh, the sun's
right,
rising over there. Let
yeah,
me. And I'll tell you this though, I have the same problem, and I'm sure a lot of people do with starting strong, and you're just gung ho and you're just like in it, and you're like, this is what's gonna happen, and I'm gonna make it, and you
yeah,
feel it, and then it burns out. That all just comes down to like you gotta start doing it in the moments you don't want to do it, and it sucks at first, but
yeah,
that's when I don't look at the days where I wake up and I'm feeling good anymore as like indicators of how I'm doing.
yeah.
I used to go look at how good it's been for a week.
Right, right, right.
Now I wait till something hits me, and that's where I go, here's how I need to adjust. Here's how much better I am and not.
When you get punched in the face, you got to adjust the game plan.
Yeah, it wakes you up and you realize. But I'll tell
Yeah,
you what, I'm here for you, Wayne.
yeah.
That's why we're gonna keep doing this, even if this one doesn't work or the next one or the next one. We're gonna keep doing this. Eventually, your dad's gonna be on here, and we're gonna get some wisdom from him, hopefully. And
Well, and another, it kind of like exactly what you said a minute ago. Like, who are you on the days where you don't feel like doing it? Who are you on the days where you don't feel good? Part of that conversation, he looked at me and he was like, "Do you think I want to get up at 5 a.m. every morning and go to the gym before I go to work?
right?
Do
Yeah.
you think I feel like doing that every day?" He's like, "Heck
No
no."
way.
He's like, "But I kick myself in my butt and I do it. I get the work done."
It's beautiful. There's something to learn from him.
There's
Well,
a
a
lot.
lot.
There's a lot there. Yeah. And I feel one of the things I did learn from both my parents is like, there, to get where you want to be or to get where you need to be, there's a lot of sacrifice involved.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
that's been a conversation I've had with myself recently. Is like, what am I willing to sacrifice?
Sure.
Can,
Well.
can I sacrifice the fast food? Can I sacrifice the double
Uh huh.
cheeseburgers? Can
Uh
I
huh. Uh huh.
sacrifice the time? Can I sacrifice the energy? Um,
It's
what
hard,
what what
man.
what makes it worth it to you? Like what's worth it and what's not?
Well, it's when you realize, and it's now this doesn't always make this isn't enough to make the difference, but you do you realize that you're gonna suffer either way in life, and so you might as well choose the suffering that you're gonna really enjoy.
That leads to progress.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
the one that it's gonna feel good when you look back, or you can choose the suffering where you're gonna look back and then really suffer.
and then I suffer with regret and suffer with Yep. I agree.
Sacrifice is a lot. It's everything.
Yeah. Well, and we had like the conversation we had earlier, where I had a breakthrough last week where I was just like, I realized I'm 30, and I've spent 26 of my years on this earth
Yeah.
living behind the veil of fear and
I've spent 30 of it.
what if? Yeah. And I had this moment where I had a conversation with a great friend, and she's like, all right, who is Mike without fear? Without fear, like that's the only thing that stops me. Without fear, I don't know anything that could get in my way.
Yeah.
Like
I bet that's true for
like
just about anyone,
I feel
man.
like
If
my
you,
dreams are at my fingertips at that point.
yeah,
And she was like, so Mike without fear is unstoppable.
yeah,
And you can't water fear, and you can't water doubt, and you can't water depression and anxiety and wallow and feed those plants while also feeding your faith, while also feeding your dreams, while also feeding anything that's positive in your life, because you're watering the wrong plant and you're letting the other one wilt. So I went home, I prayed, and I had a come to Jesus meeting with myself and with the good Lord above. And I made a commitment to myself and God and said, I'm not living in fear anymore. I'm going to go out and attack. I'm going to do this podcast with my friend. I'm going to make music. I'm going to sing when I'm scared of what people will think. I'm going to dance and not care that I may be off beat once or twice and somebody's be like, oh, look at the white boy, whatever it is. I'm just going to live my life in such a way that I pursue what I want to pursue, and I'm going to pursue my faith. I'm going to pursue my passions, and I'm going to be undignified about it.